Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is our Mindful Yoga Level 2 class, and you might know I'm Nancy Boler. Glad you could make it tonight. So, I thought this we would do a little bit of, well, movement and revolved around keeping in mind that we have this system in the bottom is very similar to your circulatory system. In fact, it's kind of intertwined with vessels, and it's really responsible for your immune system and removing all anything unwanted in your system. So this would be really helpful, I think, to in the whole bigger picture of yoga being a system of purification. So, as we're doing this, we're actually going to start right away with just some very basic hands-on stuff. I find that the main area of the lymphatic system that you can have a direct impact on is right around the drainage around your throat. You've probably been to the doctor and they do this little pushing and maybe looking for any signs of imbalance or inflammation around your lymph nodes. Here, maybe in your armpits. So you're actually going to sit comfortably, and you're just going to take your hands, your fingers, and right at the very base of the throat, there's that throat pit area. And you might even see on me that on my neck, I have these muscles right on either side. So you're going to jump across there, not your throat pit, move out to the side a little bit, and just use 3 fingers. Again, this is helpful to not sit in a slouch. So you're going to sit up and take your fingers and just very lightly, like this is not a big massage. You're just going to lightly kind of pulsate that area. You might almost feel like you're kind of exploring this area. Just a little pulsation. Now, as we start to do this hands-on, you might notice that so this is for not only your lymphatic system, but the drainage and the movement. So you might actually notice like like a sudden urge to kind of cleanse your throat, cough a little bit, if you feel things actually draining and moving. So it's kind of nice of practicing at home is that you can start to do like, any kind of sounds or anything that you need to make as you do this. And then just a little more dramatic, kind of a sweeping action. A little bit kind of front sides of the neck and just using your fingers. And this is just going to get like a little bit bigger, even a little more just following in your intuition, like the sides of your neck, just kind of sweeping from the back forward. Again, doesn't have to be any kind of deep pressure. In fact, kind of like you're just loosening, getting things to kind of loosen and drain. Swallowing, keeping space in your throat, your mouth, and then start to just go to the very back of your neck and just kind of sweeping right down, like from the base of your skull down. Breathing as you're doing this. And then you're going to take your hands, your fingers, and you're going to open your fingers apart like this, like the live long and prosper signal for you Star Trekkies. And those just go on either side of your ears. And again, you're just going to sweep down. And a lot of this might be really intuitive, like just how it feels, if it feels effective. Breath, swallowing, maybe little movement might help as you're doing this. Good. And then as you just take your fingers maybe back to that original spot that we were just getting little pressure, little tapping pressure right above your collarbones. Good. And then the hands will come down and you'll just start to move the head just side to side, like a real basic dropping your ear down. Right away, I like to just open the mouth a little bit, move your jaw, and you might feel this starting to drain a little bit in your ears, get kind of a popping in your ears. And then instead of side to side, just let the head drop down and kind of swing side to side. Breath, big waves of breath as you're doing this. Good. Head roll. Now, throughout the class, then I might be just bringing up some awareness around your neck because you just did all this nice sweeping action. So we want to make sure then that you're not suddenly starting to kind of clog those areas again. Now, sitting, just lift your shoulders up and then down, and then shoulders up, down, shoulders up. So there's not only the massage that we do, I think in that nice, that zone that we can get really hands on, but then there's just movement, kind of just movement that gets your whole system flowing. And then more of a shoulder roll. It goes rolling, rolling, rolling. And so the breath can really help too, to make sure you're not suddenly seizing up your breath as you're doing this. Good. The arms come out, reach your arms all the way up, and we just do a little side to side. So you go up and over. But really keep in mind as you do this back and forth that there's all this space across your chest and down your neck. We're just going to be really sensitive to that drainage. Now, the lymph is also, we have that network in the armpit itself, armpit chest area. So you're starting to open that up side to side. So keep going, breathing, maybe close your eyes and feel internally that internal space that you're really starting to open up here. Really think of space. Good. Now, as you pause, you're going to bring arms down. You're going to let go of your seated pose completely. Clear your mat. Move on to all fours. Now we get to involve the whole spine here as you go right into your cat and cow. With that little focus on your head, your neck, your shoulders. Now, a good one that we also were getting into last week when we were getting into the nervous system is the sounding, is a vibration. So pause for a moment, take knees closer together, and then reach your right leg back. So we'll do this just a bigger movement for the whole body. That right leg reaches back, your chest goes forward. Now you're going to inhale through your nose, and with that exhale is going to be a little sigh or any sound. It could be like a gentle as you bring your knee towards your nose. Inhale, leg goes back. Or you could really get into the sound, the ha, as you do this. Back and forth. And as you're doing this, you want to work at just that right level where you can feel that kind of that spaciousness, kind of the flow, the drainage as you're moving, rather than if you try to get too much going, it will stop the flow. Now just go to left leg. Now at the same time as there's this kind of fluidity within, you're also waking up a lot of strength here. Arms are really strong. You have that nice firm connection to the floor. And then as you pause here, move right to downward facing dog. And then down dog is naturally the inversion. So just the upside down, you might look a little to the right, look to the left a little bit. Just getting the head. Now there's that twisting action. And because you're upside down, there's that kind of drainage through the whole torso towards the brain. Breathe through your nose. And then just come right to standing. Walk the feet forward. Coming all the way up. Reach the arms out to the side. So when we're bringing arms out to the side, we definitely want to feel then that armpit chest area, the pectoral area, really reaching out. So as you take your hands behind you, your arms go behind, you're going to interlace your fingers, but bend your elbows as you're doing this. Keeping the elbows bent, draw your shoulder blades together, and get really that nice deep stretch across your chest as you're doing this. Lift up through the crown of the head, and just make sure throat soft, and then start to bend your knees a little bit like you're a little bit of a squat. Start to straighten the arms. Yoga mudra. So shoulder blades together, fold forward. Drop your head. Keep the shoulder blades drawing together. And then gradually the legs straighten. And then bend the knees. Sweep the arms forward. And you're in a little squat here. Gradually bring arms up alongside the head. Really keep that nice spaciousness. Throat, neck. Good, and then as the arms come down, straighten the legs, and then just now take the hands behind you, and then just using the hands, the palms, just pressing on your lower back kidney area. So you have the lumbar area. It's kind of upper lumbar, base of the spine or base of the ribs where you'll find your kidneys. Use your fingers or palms and just pressing right there. Keep that little massage as you start to go forward to a forward bend.
And then the hands just move right down through the backs of the legs. Pause, massaging the hands along your hamstrings. And then lower around your calves. So all of this about this fluidity, we're starting to open up internally by doing a little massage. Come all the way up, grounding the feet, and then we're going to take the feet parallel, keeping the feet parallel, not rotating the legs out at all. Arms are going to reach out. So we'll do now that very repetitive, this one really gets into a lot of kind of just pumping through this big marching action. So the arms come up, one knee lifts up as you inhale, and then you exhale, comes down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Moving your own pace. Breathe through your nose the whole time if you can. Pause, arms down, swallow, cleanse, and then we'll just do a little jumping. So this is a really kind of jarring, let the arms just kind of swing and dangle. So we want that impact here. Jumping, this is really good for your lymph system. Jumping like this, jumping on a trampoline. Even if you were to go for a run, just that jarring action. You could almost imagine like any, sediment that's the body are really shaking it up. The lymphatic system does not have a pump, basically. The heart pumps the blood. Your lymphatic system needs movement. Good. As you pause here, stillness, and then just a little twist. Arms swing side to side, loose, loose. And then just bring yourself up towards the front of the mat, preparing for a nice big sun salutation. Take palms together in front of the heart, arms sweeping up. Take the arms way out to the side, wide across your chest. Fold over. Now lift up towards that flat back again. Straighten the legs, wide across your chest. Fold over. Lift up again, one last time, coming up. Folding all the way over. Moving back to your downward facing dog. Now take the hands a little wider apart, same with your feet, a little wider apart. You might just bring a little more space to your hips and your shoulders. Now to keep the space across the chest, the shoulders, you're going to bend your elbows and actually let your elbows wing out to the sides. And notice that you might feel like that big wide space across your chest. And then draw the elbows toward one another And then start to straighten your arms. But just make sure you still have that space in the chest. Let's do that again. Bend the elbows, let them go out. And then draw the elbows in. Straighten the arms. Your plank pose. So there's that space of the neck. Lower down to the floor. Moving cobra pose. So what a great one to make sure that you're not crunching up in your neck. Lengthen the legs way back and then lift both legs. So you're making sure the shoulder blades are not really sliding apart. Feel them kind of hugging toward one another. Crown of the head up. And then move back to down dog. In your downward facing dog, round your hands, feel neck nice and long here. Reach your right leg way back. Rotate that right foot around. Bend the right knee, bring the knee into the chest. Squeeze in. Right leg goes back again. And then that big step forward, the right foot. Got a lunge here. So just right effort to get the head is balanced. Step left foot forward. Come all the way up. Reach up, lift the chest, look up. And then take palms together. As you take palms together, let the elbows reach out to the sides. You're pushing your hands together. Arms come up. Forward bend. This time, take the hands behind you, interlace your fingers, draw the shoulder blades together, drop your head. Let the arms drop, hands drop towards the floor, the legs are straightening. As you release your fingers, move back to your down dog. Moving to your plank pose. Now from your plank, you are free to move to a different back bend if you want to. We'll lower down to the floor. We're going to go to locust pose. So you're lifting your head, you lift your shoulders, your legs, reach back. So being sensitive to the neck, even your ears, lots of space through your throat. Back to down dog. That left leg lifts up. Rotate your left foot around. That left knee bends. You draws into your chest. And then left leg goes back. Left knee bends again. Step forward. Your lunge. Softness of the neck. Stepping forward. Coming up.
all the way up. Big palms together in front of your heart. Now bring the arms down and turn to one side so you can step your feet wide apart. So we're going to go just into kind of a repetition here of Warrior Two, where you're going to take your right foot and I think maybe, okay, I'll mirror this for you. You take your right foot, you open it to your right, and you start to bend that right knee. Now, an important part for your lymph is actually this groin area, the inguinal area of your right leg here. So notice when you're bending and straightening, I'm sorry, not right, your left leg. So when you're bending and straightening your right leg, this inner left leg, you're going to take your hand and actually feel that space. Make sure as you straighten your left leg that you might feel this really open up just due to the straightening of the leg. So if I bend my right knee and kind of softly bend my left leg, it doesn't really open this space very much. But if I straighten the left leg and even lift my navel, that pelvic floor lifting up, really gets into that, that space. Full Warrior Two then. Now we get into the armpit chest also. Reaching out. So be aware of these main, this plexus, this network in the armpits and the inner groin here. Switch. As you bend your left knee, feel your foot position and sense that space across your chest. Taking your right hand, just feel that effort really matters when you really straighten the right leg. And as you lift, you even get that lift up, opening, bringing a lot of space to that inner inguinal area. Extending the arms. Enjoy the space through the armpits as you reach through your arms. Breathing. I think it's good to understand these deeper reasons for doing these poses and what exactly is happening. To boost your immune system, go ahead and release. Arms come down, straighten the legs, take the feet now parallel. So hands are going to come behind you. And again, when you interlace your fingers, try not to push your shoulders forward, especially if you were to straighten your arms back there. So we get wide across the chest. Pull up through your legs. Gradually forward bend here. Strong legs, keeping the shoulder blades drawn together. Breathing, and even as you're hanging here, as you let your head hang, breathe, and even strong legs, but do back and forth where you bend your right knee a little bit, and then you bend your left knee a little bit. You go back and forth. Waves of breath, that even the breath itself is helping to bring this fluidity into the body. And then as you come up, you push into your feet, arms release. Now step together for a moment. So it even helps at the bottom of the legs. There's an exercise actually for your calves that, this area, we want to make sure that there's all sorts of circulation going all the way down to your feet.
So a great one, which we do a lot, is just that lifting the heels, lift the toes a little bit, lift the heels, lift the toes, rock back and forth. And it's kind of you might feel like your calf muscles, they like squeeze and then they fluff out. So it just goes back and forth. Good. And as you let that go, we're going to step wide again. And in this groin area, we're going to just see what happens when we go from warrior two right into Parsvakonasana. So let's go to your right side first. So you open your right foot to the right. The left toes, they point in. And then you'll go ahead and bend that right knee. So I was mentioning about this inner left groin area. Really pay attention to that. First warrior two, the arms reach out. You breathe. Keep that left leg really strong as you bend your right elbow. And now you extend out over that right leg and just take your right forearm down. Now really get into this length in front of that left thigh. Front of the groin all the way up. Take that left arm, just extend. So lots of space. Look down a little bit. Forward neutral, look up slightly. And then push right into your feet and come all the way up. And let's just switch sides. Just open that left foot, right toes point in. So this is what, when we're doing these poses, that we want to make sure the breath is really fluid and not holding your breath at all. Feel like your neck, your shoulders, warrior two. Straighten the right leg. You might feel not, there's right leg, there's what's happening, a left groin. And then keep the spine really long as you bend that left elbow. You extend out. Lightly land, forearm right above your left knee. Open the front of that right hip, but lifting your chest. Tailbone draws in a little bit, and then just reach that right arm. So sensing you're opening these spaces. Breathe, feel like across the chest. Look down a little bit. Look forward. Look up. And then push right down to come all the way up. Arm down. Again, feet go parallel. Hands come behind. Now, as you interlace your fingers, always good to switch that interlacing with the fingers. Lift the chest. Forward bend. Draw the shoulder blades together. And that's going to open across the front of your chest. Breathing here. Now, each time, there might be like, a little more loosening around your sinuses or your ears or throat. Close your eyes, breathe. If you want to, you could do that little bend of one knee, switch, little bend of the other knee, but you want to stay really grounded, easeful movement. Breath to the belly. As you release your fingers, just take your hands around that kidney area and even make fists with your hands and do just a little pounding, little tapping on your back. Uh, and then down the backs of the legs. Hands sweeping down. Come right up. Push into the feet. Take the feet closer together. Tadasana, your mountain pose. Close your eyes. And just standing in a way, there's a sense of all of the inner tubing is open. Grounding through your feet. Side to side, just reach that right arm up. Move your jaw a little bit here. And then just switch. So you notice like I can bring my arm up without really gripping my neck. That soft massage that you were giving yourself. And then releasing down. Now, you're going to turn so that you can take yourself right back to downward facing dog. And we are going to do a slightly longer hold of downward facing dog. And by slightly, we're going to do about 3 minutes. So I am going to tell you when it's been a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So go ahead, forward bend, bring your hands down, stepping the feet back, breathing, move right into your downward facing dog. Maybe close your eyes and get a sense of this really deep inner alignment. Looking closer and closer at details of this, the pressing into the floor, the imagining your spine lengthening, steadiness of the breath that you could consciously steady and deepen the breath, but it's comfortable. It's like just that right flow of breath. Remember, at any time, you could lightly touch your knees down. 1 minute. At once, you really get that firm strength in your arms, but at the same time, you soften your lips. It feels like you just need to shift a little bit. There might be that slight movement to plank pose and then back to down dog. Completely up to you. You know, your body is your teacher here, your main teacher. Sometimes it's good to just count the breath so that you're listening to the breath, you're feeling the body. 2 minutes. Might be some, trembling or
need to move a little bit, that's fine. Even if you touch your knees down for a moment, see what happens if you just go back to down dog instead of being done with it. Taking a couple more breaths. And then lightly the knees come down as you're done with your 3 minutes. That was actually longer than 3 minutes. Um, Take child pose. Now go ahead and move right onto your belly. We're going to do just a little back bending work uh, that will build just our various back bends on the belly. Such a great place to work with back bending. So you could start with your cobra, lengthen, lift the legs, move into your shalabhasana, reach the arms back with the effort to stay wide across the chest. And then reach the arms forward. And then the arms just sweep back. Do that again. Reach the arms forward. And then the arms sweeping back. And then lightly place the hands not only on the sides of the ribs, but way down at the lower edge of the ribs, even your waistband. Take yourself right to up dog. Push into the hands. You push into the tops of your feet and lift up. So here, nice long neck. Lifting. Push into the tops of the feet. Reach the chest forward. Now, as you lower down here, you're going to go right back to your shalabhasana. You're going to lower. Legs lift, wide across the chest. Reach the arms back. Breathe. Now, as you lower, look to the right. Lower all the way down. Taking your shalabhasana again, you lift up all the way. Take the legs wide apart. And then as you draw the legs together, bend your knees. Reach back. Grab the tops of your feet. Dhanurasana, your bow pose. So make sure this is really wide across your pectoral area. Push your feet into your hands. If possible, grab your ankles. Flex your feet so you're reaching up through your heels. And then as you let go here, as you release, you look to the left, you lower down. And then preparing for down dog, hands on either side of the chest. Keep your shoulders back as you tuck your toes under. Push straight down, lift up, even kind of slow motion back. Reach your hips as far away as you can get your hips from your hands. Now, as your hips go back,
The crown of the head reaches forward slightly in order to lengthen your spine. Now lift your heels way up, step your right foot forward, and that action we are going to practice several times, and we'll do this back and forth. So that right foot steps back right into your down dog, and then lift the heels. That left foot steps up, and then you step back. So there's no better way to learn this is to just do this back and forth. Heels lift your navel, step that right foot forward, and then step back. Back and forth. As you're doing this back and forth, go ahead and bring in your half smile. Knowing that the half smile helps to uproot any obstacles, any inner complaining, any inner grumbling. You're just doing the work. Notice that breath sweeping through the body here. If it helps to bring in that image that there's a campfire underneath you and you have to step over it, whether you're stepping forward or you're stepping back. Next foot that steps forward, you step the other one forward, and you come up right all the way up to your standing pose. Arms come down, Tadasana. Close your eyes, breathe. Good. Step the feet wide apart again. And we're going to just take ourselves kind of, as we're doing mindful yoga, it's good to just do some repetition. So the mind isn't trying to figure out new things. Move to warrior 2. Right side, and the right knee, straighten that left leg. Lift up through the spine. And then just slowly move to that Parsvakonasana. So you might bend your elbow, drop the forearm down, but really light. You don't suddenly like sink into this. Lots of space here. Move your head. Coming up, lift up. Switch your feet, because we really want to get into this inner space and ease. Bend left knee, really firm, straightening the right leg, but the throat is open. Lengthen out. So rather than kind of shortening as you bring your elbow down, you actually want to lengthen out, lightly touch, really bend that left knee. Arm comes up to a position where the neck is really soft. Breathe.
and lifting up. Just push down to come up. Take the feet now parallel for a moment. We're going to do that again, but we'll move into a triangle pose. So imagine triangle pose that your arms are right out to the side in this T position. Okay? Right foot opens. Left toes point in. Bend the right knee. Warrior two. Grounding. Spread your toes and open here. And then Parshva Konasana. You extend out. Lift the chest. You might even take a wider stance. You know, these are 3 different poses. Breathe. Now gradually you'll start to straighten that right leg. Explore right hand on your shin. The feeling of wide across the chest. Neck long, draw your navel in. Steady, stable. Briefly look down. You can see that whole right leg, grounding the foot, the strength of your leg. And then lightly bend the right knee and come up. Switching. Left foot opens. Right toes point in. We'll bend. Warrior two. Breath. Lots of space. Straighten that right leg. Remember, in front of the right hip. And keep all this space as you bend that left elbow. Lightly touch down. So we're not sinking down at all. Top arm right alongside the head. Navel in here gives that lift of the chest. Neck, shoulders, head. Breath flowing. Now as you start to straighten that left leg. Hand can hold, but there's a lightness of your chest. You're exploring wide across the chest. Stable, stable, strong legs. And then again, just look down. So you can see and feel that strong left leg. Little bend of the left knee coming up. Feet parallel. Step together. And just do a really light, like swinging the arms. Marching action. But light heart. Again, a little bit of jumping. Shaking. If you don't like the impact of the jumping, you can just jiggle. Like you can keep your feet down and just kind of jiggle around. Or the difference of the impact, that hopping. Good. And then big breaths, just some big sun breaths. We inhale up, exhale. Inhale. Both strong and yet kind of like seaweed, just fluid and silky. Good. And then as you let them come right down to the floor. So as we go on to the back side, I'm going to talk you through a twist. And the twist is going to
kind of gradually get bigger and bigger as we develop the pose called Jatara Parivartanasana. So that pose gets really into the whole belly area, waistband. And I love how you can practice it in kind of stages, mild, medium, and hot. So you're going to recline. The arms will go to the side, but as soon as you do this, get really sensitive to your shoulder blades. That your shoulder blades are not pushing up to your ears, they're flattening, throat is nice and open, and then just bend your knees, lift your feet away from the floor a little bit. The spine is strong. Keep the legs glued together. Drop your knees a little to the right. As you do this, you have to lift your left buttock, but you keep your left shoulder down. And then you go up and over to the other side. Breathing. Now make sure you're not contracting and hardening as you do this. So we have to breathe. Now go back and forth. Breathe through your nose. Really keep fine awareness of the not only breath passageways, but your ears. You might move your jaw a little bit. You might look side to side. So when your knees drop to one side, you look the other way. Breathe and feel here. And gradually, you're playing with the knees, the legs dropping all the way down as you keep your shoulders down. But don't force this, of course, because as you practice mindfully, very connected to your body. So I like this repetition back and forth so you can tune into how does my spine really feel today? Good. Now as you pause, you're going to pause in the center and then reach your legs up. Now, as we go into the full pose of Jatara Parivartanasana, we do not do the repetition of back and forth. Rather, we'll go right into the pose and be there for a little bit. So now the legs are straight, and you will start to let the legs drop to your right side. Now, as they do this, the feet are going to lift up towards your shoulder height. And maybe keep the legs together as the legs go all the way down. You might even grab your big toes with your right hand. Or not. You might keep your legs really straight, or you might bend your knees a little bit. So this is mostly about a twist. So please stay connected to your spine. Reach out through that left arm, even look to the left. Breathe. Little smile, half smile. Actually, move into a full smile. So the neck, shoulders, throat, head. Lots of space across your chest. Notice the doing of this pose, the straightening of the legs, the lengthening of the spine. And then as you let go, you could bend your knees a little bit and just bring the legs back up to center. So yes, you could do this whole pose with the knees slightly bent and then go to the side. So whatever makes you the happiest. Legs are straight. Now we'll go to the left. So as the legs are dropping, you do want to deepen the flexion in your hips so it lifts the feet up towards more of your shoulder height. And then as the legs land, you straighten the legs. You lengthen the spine. You breathe and feel the space here. Contracting. So maybe you bend the legs a little bit. Maybe you play with this. Explore this pose if this is a pose you have not done or haven't done in a while. It's nice though to find a pose where you could be there and just breathe, not fidgeting. Good as you stay connected to the doing, the effort of this. Again, maybe move your jaw, just feel that space through your throat. As you lengthen your spine, you're lengthening the sides of the body. Inside of the mouth has space. So as you let this go, you bend your knees a little bit, the legs come up. Back to center, just drop your feet to the mat. Adjust. You're going to prepare just for a little movement of bridge pose. So the arms can drop right alongside you. Really ground the shoulders. Ground your feet down, pressing them down to start to lift the butt away from the floor. Lift the whole spine up. Maybe the shoulders roll under a little bit. Reground your feet, especially the inner feet. But draw your tailbone up. Be very aware of your throat and your neck in this pose because you're lifting your breastbone now. Really get that lift of the breastbone with staying nice and wide across your shoulders. Slowly lower down. Let your spine decide how to lower down. Breathing. Move into this one more time. Lift. Explore. Feel the pressing down. You're pressing your shoulders down. You're pressing your heels down. Lifting up. And then that effort of lifting your breastbone way up. Breathe into the whole body. And slowly down. Pause here. Maybe readjust a little bit so the spine is releasing down. And let the knees just drop in. And so the inner knees touch, legs can relax. Your inner thighs, your inner groin can relax. And then just take your fingers, we're going to bring fingers up to the face and start right at your forehead. Fingers at the center of the forehead. And then just sweep the fingers out to the sides and down across your temples. Down the sides of the face. And then just do this again. Explore just this sweeping. And even just right below your eyes, this area around your sinuses. Just sweep the fingers across the face. And then down, maybe sides of the neck again. Back of the neck.
And then preparing, just moving into Shavasana. So you might even grab a blanket or any kind of props or anything you want to stay warm, stay comfortable. It can even be good to take 2 or 3 deeper breaths to really signal to yourself it's time to let go. I'm letting go of all effort. Can you bring awareness to your breath? And be aware of your breath without changing your breath. So you're watching a river. How your breath is ever changing. And then imagine that the body is gradually melting. Little by little, this melting or sinking into the floor. And allow that. Just let the head really drop. The soft, soft neck. Even the skin on your skull. The skin on your face softening. Sustain this awareness. Almost you're fascinated, looking closer and closer, feeling aware of your throat. The release of the arms down. Your whole back body just sinking, releasing down. As the belly softens, sense the release of the whole pelvis, the weight, dropping the weight of your legs. We need this, it's like a reminder again and again. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm practicing letting go. As the body is relaxing, the mind is bright. Just a bright presence. It's like it's remembering its this natural state of being free of tension, very bright and alert. We can sustain this awareness with a very simple sound vibration of Om. And as I repeat it, you might silently Om to yourself. Gradually letting go of your corpse pose. That you feel that that bringing in energy. This is a really great practice. This is what it feels like to choose to bring energy back in. I can start to move. What does it feel like when you just start to move your hands, your legs, and even if you don't feel like getting up, you do. And as you come back up, you're bringing in that really deep strength through your spine, the space around your neck, throat. We'll take palms together in front of the heart. May we gather up the fruits of our practice and let them go. May the work that we do here really ripple out and benefit all of the people around us who we possibly either sharing our homes with. May all beings be free. May this work that we do lead to the freedom, the liberation of all hearts and minds and bodies. May all beings know peace. We'll close with the sound of Om. If you want to join in, you can. Take a deep inhale. Thanks so much, everyone. Really so appreciative that you came here and practiced together. Um, yeah. So coming up, you might know going forward, there's Friday morning class that I lead. There's just a little variety of options as things have continued to change. And I'm offering a Saturday morning class that's a Zoom class. So if you want to be part of the Zoom class, you will have to go to my website. You'll have to contact me somehow and let me know that you would like to get that Zoom link. It is on Saturday morning. The class is Saturday morning from 9 to 11. It's a 2-hour class, but it really is, it still is about a level 1. It's really for all levels. It's more about going a little deeper with our mindfulness and almost like a little 2-hour retreat. So I'd love to see you there. Feel free to leave a little comment in the chat here if you want to say hi, leave me any kind of feedback at all. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that taken time to practice together. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and please take care of yourself.